Hey, liberals! What if I told you that Congressional Republicans supported a plan that gives multinational corporations enormous new power to threaten everything from internet freedom to affordable healthcare? That would make you pretty angry, right?
And hey, conservatives, what if I told you that President Obama supported a plan that deliberately cedes congressional power to the executive branch and undermines U.S. sovereignty by allowing UN tribunals to overturn U.S. law? That's pretty infuriating, right?
Well, everybody gets to be angry today because we're actually talking about the same plan. It's a massive international trade agreement called the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP, and both the Obama administration and Republicans in Congress are trying to get it passed before the public can figure out what's in it. Given all that, it is no surprise that the Obama administration has tried to keep the details of the TPP negotiations secret. The only way the public has any idea what's in this thing is because some unidentified saint has been leaking drafts to the press.
The TPP is one of the largest trade deals in history, and it would establish a trade bloc that includes roughly 800 million people and accounts for 40% of the global economy.
It would also put huge decisions that would directly affect the day-to-day lives of those 800 million people in the hands of a mind-bogglingly small group of lawyers by establishing a system called Investor-State Dispute Settlement, or ISDS. ISDS cases allow foreign companies to bypass the US legal system and go straight to an international trade tribunal to demand compensation directly from American taxpayers. Because, as always, the most evil of things come in the most boring of packages.
So boring.
Also, I said packages. That's kind of funny.
Fending off these cases costs governments big. Legal expenses alone cost taxpayers an average of $8 million per investor-state dispute.
Now, ISDS is not a new concept. It's actually been around since the 1950s. The problem is that modern agreements like the TPP have become so broad that companies can now launch massive legal actions against governments for just passing laws that could threaten their earnings, regardless of what the people who elected those governments actually want.
And since ISDS accords are already a part of other trade agreements, we can see exactly what these cases look like. For example, tobacco companies are using the ISDS system to bully countries out of mandating tougher warning labels for cigarettes.
Or, if you want an even more cartoonishly evil example, there's the case of Dough Run Peru, whose smelting machinery outside a small Peruvian city exposed the area's children to drastically elevated lead levels and led to an outbreak of symptoms consistent with lead poisoning, like anemia, convulsions, and stunted growth.
The Peruvian government made repeated efforts to impose pollution cleanup plans, but Dough Run Peru claimed the new regulations were too onerous to comply. Since then, it's used the investor-state system to demand $800 million from Peruvian taxpayers, claiming the pollution cleanup was too expensive.
So, in advocating for the TPP, the Obama administration and congressional Republicans are opening up the United States to more of the exact same kind of ISDS complaints. The TPP would empower 9,000 additional foreign companies to bring cases against American governments, and do so without ever setting foot in a U.S. court.
That's because investor-state disputes are decided by tribunals organized by the World Bank or the United Nations. Multinational corporations can bring cases against governments and their taxpayers, but not the other way around.
And there's no appeals process to challenge tribunal decisions. There's no judge, no jury, and each case is decided individually with no requirement to consider precedent cases.
Instead, cases are decided by a panel of 3 arbitrators selected from a small group of corporate lawyers who specialize in international trade disputes. And when I say small, I mean small. According to a 2012 report, just 15 arbitrators have decided 55% of all known investment treaty disputes.
Arbitrators are also paid $600 to $700 per hour, so there is zero incentive to resolve cases quickly, dragging cases out and racking up even more legal costs for the countries being sued.
So why is this happening?
What possible reason could there be for this decision?
I can't figure it out. I have no idea.
Any reason? Money. It's money.
It's a money thing.
Is the point, yeah.
It's a money thing. Remember how top secret all TPP documents are supposed to be? Well, there's one group that has full access: major political donors. Corporate advisors for companies who have helped raise millions of dollars for politicians of both parties were given passwords that let them view an online version of the latest draft whenever they want.
And this is why most of the leaked TPP provisions read like a wish list for some of the most powerful special interests in Washington. Everyone from Hollywood to pharmaceutical companies is getting a piece of that action. So, what can we do about it? Ooh. Okay, what else can we do about it? Once you've poured yourself a drink, if you feel so inclined, the most important thing to remember is that trade agreements like this cannot stand up to public scrutiny and fall apart as soon as a critical mass of the public finds out what's in them. So if you want to stop the TPP, the most important thing you can do is spread the word and let people know that this is happening.
And if you remember from this portion of our show, the root cause is money in politics. So don't forget to follow the money.
Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Click right here on Zip's head to subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this one, and click right here on my head to like us on Facebook and get all the latest updates from Anti-Corruption Land. You can also click right here on our microphone to learn more about joining the thousands of volunteers who are fighting right now to pass a wave of tough, new anti-corruption laws in cities and states across the country. I'm Mansoor.
I'm Zip.
And we are Represent Us. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
We need the script, though.
Yeah, I guess that would help instead of me just making air guns at myself.